Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Walt here from Down the Block Sports, and today I want to talk about the NFL Draft. The three-day event is officially over. The New England Patriots have selected 10 players in the draft. What I want to talk about today is who they drafted and how this could help New England moving forward. Again, I'm Alec Walt. This is Down the Block Sports. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Yes, the three-day event is officially over. The New England Patriots drafted 10 players in the 2022 NFL Draft, and with the 29th overall pick, their first selection in the draft, they selected offensive guard Cole Strange out of Chattanooga. Now, this was one of the stranger picks of the first round, the real surprise pick towards the end of the first round. Many people had Strange with a second or third round grade. There were 8 guards selected in the first 3 rounds, but the Patriots had a need at offensive guard. They were a team that lost Shaq Mason in a trade, and they had a massive hole at the guard position. Now, Strange on day one will start at the guard position, and it sets the offensive line for next year. You look at the offensive line going into 2022, you have Isaiah Wynn, Mike Onwenu, David Andrews, and Trent Brown. Now you can include the rookie Cole Strange to start at the other guard position. So it may have been a little bit of a reach. I think guard was drafted much earlier than I expected in this draft, especially with 8 going in the first 3 rounds. But the Patriots had a need to secure the offensive line, and they accomplished that at pick 29. With a second pick, they traded up to pick number 50 in the second round. They drafted wide receiver Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor. He is the fastest receiver in the 2022 class. With the NFL Combine, he ran a 4.28 40. I mean, this dude is an absolute burner and provides the Patriots a piece of this offense that they really don't have. I mean, the Patriots have been looking to add that element of speed in the offense. You look at their receivers right now. Devonte Parker is a receiver that gets down the field he has over 12, yards per catch in his 8-year career. Kendrick Bourne's more of a possession receiver. They needed that guy that could split the safeties and be a legitimate deep threat in this offense. And Tyquan Thornton at 6'2" has great size, has a plus wingspan as well. So if they can find a way to have someone be respectable over the top in this offense, it'll open up more running lanes, open up the receivers as well on the outside. And Tyquan Thornton looks like he has the elite speed to potentially be able to do that in this New England Patriots offense. At 85 in the third round, they selected Mack Jones, the 5'8", 174-pound corner out of the University of Houston. He is an undersized corner, so someone who will likely play in the slot, but he's a scrappy dude at 47 tackles, 5 interceptions, 13 passes defended. But where he could have an impact in his rookie season in New England is as a kick and punt returner. He had over 2,000 return yards, 800 punt return yards, 9 total return touchdowns in his career. So with Gunnar Olszewski on the Pittsburgh Steelers, it looks like he could compete for a role as a kick and punt returner. So not only is he someone who could potentially find his way on defense next year, special team seems like another option for his future with the New England Patriots. We get into the day 3 selections, where things get a little bit more interesting. Belichick went into day 3 with 3 fourth-round picks, and it started at pick 121 with Mack Jones out of Arizona State. Another corner who was a little bit undersized at 5'11", 171 pounds, moved his way around, did deal with some legal trouble as well, but he ended at Arizona State, where he had a very solid season last year for the Sun Devils. He had 42 tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles. He had 10 interceptions in his college football career. So this is more of a high-risk, high-reward type player. Of course, had dealt with some of his legal issues off the field and involved breaking into a Panda Express in 2018. So obviously not a very good look as you're looking to go in to the National Football League. He's also 25 years old, so he's going into the draft as one of the more older prospects of this 2022 class. But could be more of an inside guy early on in his career in New England, as he, again, is only 171 pounds. We've seen his weight kind of vary through a couple of different websites. So the talent looks like it's there, but there is some character issues, and the Patriots are extremely deep at corner. So while they did deal with the loss of J.C. Jackson, they added two undersized corner prospects to the mix with Marcus Jones and Jack Jones. Also in the fourth round, they selected Pierre Strong Jr., a running back out of South Dakota State, with the 127th overall pick. He is an in-between-the-tackles type runner. When you look at the Patriots offense, they are an in-between-the-tackles type running offense. He had 1,317 yards and 15 touchdowns in 11 games in 2021. He's not much of a pass catcher, so when he's on the field, he'll likely be more of a check down option other than being a receiving back if he'd be in passing situations. But when you watch him run, he runs big. He seems like a Belichick back. Now, I don't know how much playing time he'll get in his rookie season because he'll be backing up Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, two other power backs on the Patriots roster. But Belichick always commits to a running back by committee backfield. There are always injuries when it comes to running backs. Plus, Damian Harris is a guy whose contract will eventually be expiring. Pierre Strong is a good depth option as someone who can benefit in a ground and pound offense. With the fourth pick, this was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't think the Patriots would go after this position this early. They drafted Bailey Zapp, a quarterback out of Western Kentucky, with the 137th pick. Now, QB wasn't exactly prioritized in this draft by a lot of teams, really outside of Pittsburgh, because we saw some of the other top quarterback prospects fall into the third round of this draft. But the Patriots didn't pick again after 137 to 183. So it seemed like if we don't draft him now, we're unlikely going to be able to draft him later situation. But Zapp, as a college quarterback, was an absolute stud. I mean, last year at Western Kentucky, he had 5,967 total passing yards, 62 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. His passing yards and touchdowns were an FBS single season record. Before he played at Western Kentucky, he was originally at Houston Baptist, where he had 63 touchdowns in 32 total starts and a little over 8,000 total passing yards. So whichever league he's been in so far at the college level, he's definitely, burst onto the scene with some insane, statistical seasons. When you look at Zapp, obviously he's, still a project. When you look at the Patriots quarterback room right now, it is led by Mack Jones. Zapp is not joining the New England Patriots to be a replacement to Mack Jones. He's someone who's going to be a backup quarterback. Of course, going from Western Kentucky to New England after only playing one season at Western Kentucky is a massive jump, but the statistical leap for Zapp from the levels leading to his time at Western Kentucky was absolutely massive. I mean, when you're breaking FBS single season records in passing yards and passing touchdowns, you're certainly getting yourself noticed at the NFL radar. At this rate, you can't have enough talent at the quarterback position. He's expected to be a backup that works with Belichick and Patricia and other members of this offensive coaching staff for the next few seasons. He was a zero-star recruit, so it's kind of a nice story for him as he makes his way into New England. If he ends up developing well into a quality quarterback prospect, they could potentially flip him towards the end of his rookie contract while he's still cheap. I don't know, but he's more of a project pick at the quarterback position. Again, I didn't think they would draft one in the fourth round, but Zapp is certainly an interesting quarterback prospect, and we'll see how he translates in New England. When we get into the sixth round, Belichick had 3 sixth-round picks this year. It started with South Carolina Gamecock Kevin Harris at pick 183, and the Patriots already drafted a running back in this class, but he added a second here with Harris, who is a big running back. I mean, 5'10", 221, looks even larger, runs big. I mean, for someone who's entering the NFL as a college player, he's entering with NFL size. I mean, his upper and lower body look like that of a grown man. I mean, this dude is an absolute beast. Now, he was much better in 2020 after his 1,138 yard, 15 touchdown campaign. He dealt with a back injury that required surgery that affected his play in 21 with only 660 yards and 14 touchdowns. But in his 3 years at South Carolina, he had 24 total touchdowns. So again, he's not a pass catcher. He's someone who is more of an in-between the tackle, more likely goal line down back. I mean, we look at Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, even Pierre Strong Jr., who are entering New England. It's really difficult to see where Harris gets touches. He's more of a project as a power back. Again, he's more of a physical guy. May see him in more goal line situations, but he's not going to get many snaps in New England next year and is more of someone you could see in a few years in the Patriots backfield. Sam Roberts was the 200th pick in this draft in the 6th round. He is a Division II prospect, a defensive tackle out of Northwestern Missouri State. He won the 2021 Cliff Harris Award as the best small school defensive lineman in the nation. He had 61 tackles, 18 for loss, 6.5 sacks. I mean, he's 6'5", 292 pounds, so he has some good size to him. Last time Belichick drafted out of the 2nd round, it turned out pretty well with Kyle Duggar, who's going to get a lot of snaps all over the field with the Patriots. Obviously, different situation here as we look at the defensive line, but defensive tackle is actually a position of strength with Lawrence Guy, Devin Cacho, and Christian Barmore, so he's more of a depth option for the Patriots, but he's a Division II project, and you can't have enough run stuffers in the National Football League. The final couple picks here, Chasen Heinz out of LSU, an offensive guard, Andrew Stueber, an offensive guard out of Michigan. Both of them are very big prospects for someone just entering the NFL. I mean, Heinz is 6'3", 327. Stueber is 6'7", 325, who also played some right tackle at Michigan, but will likely translate into a guard in the National Football League. So the Belichick needed to improve the interior of his offensive line. He added 3 guards in the draft. These 2 at the end of the 1st round are primary run blockers. So we'll see if they can translate well into this power run offense. But for the New England Patriots, they added 10 prospects in the 2022 NFL draft. No one really that blows you out of the water. I mean, the 1st round pick was a more high floor type of pick who's going to start on day 1. I didn't really look at any of these selections as it being a huge steal. They did fill some needs. I mean, the offensive line needed to be completed. Strange does that as a starting guard. They needed to add speed on the outside. Thornton's the fastest receiver in this class. Jones is an incredibly quick corner who can add some impact in the special teams. I mean, they're a power run team, so they added 2 power run running backs. They have a project quarterback and some interesting interior offensive and defensive linemen who are more projects than really any potential contributors to the 2022 team. So I think this is at best a B- draft. Again, reaching a little bit on Strange does affect it a little bit, but they are much faster, and their offensive line, specifically on the interior, is significantly less of a concern with me heading into the 2022 season. So what do you think of the New England Patriots 10 selections here at the 2022 NFL Draft? Feel free to give your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.